presentation of CBC Sports.
Moikka tervetuloa. Hello and welcome to That Figure Skating Show. I am your host, Asher Hill, clearly butchering the Finnish language. Unless I did well, then give me that validation because I need it. And with me again, of course, is Brenda Irving, a woman who needs no validation because she is that girl.
What did you just say off the top?
It's supposed to be hello and welcome.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because you could have fooled me.
And then a ton of swear words.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm worried about. We are live, you know.
Well. In Finland, I love you. Sorry if I offended you. But of course, we are recapping the Finlandia trophy, and what an event it was. We are getting closer and closer to the Grand Prix Final. Only one more left. Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
It's just flying by.
This was a good one too. This was a good one.
It was a good one. Lots of twists and turns, and we are going to tell you all about them. But first, Canada gets a gold and surprise silver medal, and it wasn't the good kind of surprise. Japan claims gold in the men and women's event. And we look at the Canadians heading to the Cup of China and who is going to take those final Grand Prix final spots. I said final a lot there.
A lot of finals. A lot of finals. Pairs competition. Let's start there, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Diana stellato-dudek, Maxime Deschamps, they are going to the Grand Prix Final, which is coming up in December in Grenoble, France. They looked really good. They were 23 points higher than the second place team of Maria Pavlova and Alexei Svetchenko. The Hungarians, they skated well. They were third in the short, second in the free, and then in third place, Rebecca Gallardi and Filippo Ambrosini. They struggled in the short, and that's the reason they fell down to third place. But it was a pretty good competition, and very good if you're Diana stellato-dudek and Maxime Deschamps, winning by over 23 points. But maybe compared to some of the other top teams that we've seen so far this season, they need to up that score a little bit more, hey?
Definitely. They did hit the highest short program score we've seen in the pairs event so far, but the free program, some things still elude them. Level 4s on their twist and spins and death spiral. Actually here only a level 3. This lasso lift group 5, this is one of their level 4s, always gets huge pluses on this. But just like Skate Canada, they doubled their side-by-side triple sow. This was again a little bit better than Skate Canada. They made some big changes in their program. Here is that throw Lutz that you think is gonna hang on to, and then a fall after. Very uncharacteristic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that really hurt them. But again, they still get 7 points higher than their performance at Skate Canada, but they are still 11 points back of their personal best. And to put it in perspective, this 131 is a good trajectory, but the Germans, who are their biggest competition, have scored 140 in the free program earlier this season. And then the Georgians, a 142, and they surprised everyone with that win at NHK against Mura and Kihara. So they have some things that they definitely got to work towards to be competitive and, defend their world title and earn another medal at the Grand Prix Final.
Yeah, and there's 3 weeks until the Grand Prix Final, so they have some time to work on the 4 changes that they did make in that free program. But certainly afterward, Diana can be extremely difficult on herself. She was fairly content with the performance, though, in Finland.
Yes, and let's hear what they had to say about their performance in the free program after.
We made some improvements from Skate Canada, changed the order of the elements. It seemed to be received better, it feels better. We still had some technical problems, so we're going to have to go back and work on those. But everything short and long was better than our last outing, which is all we can ask for.
And I agree. Their changes in that free program allow, especially that last minute, to really breathe. So I like the changes that they've made. They just got to nail those technical elements.
That's a huge wreath. I just can't.
Yeah, it started a few years ago. I'm kind of jealous. I want a flower crown.
Well,
Yeah, I want a
don't know.
flower crown. But
Okay,
I wear it
okay.
around my house.
Anyway, on another note, Kellyanne Laurent, Lucas Etier, the other Canadian team that were at this competition, they skated really well. Very nearly made it up onto the podium. They had struggled a little bit earlier, but they set new personal bests in the free and in their total score. They were feeling good after this one.
Yeah, and they were last in Skate America. So to come here and finish fourth, only 3 points off from a podium finish. Here, they're side-by-side triple loops, the only negative GOE element in their free program. And, they've talked about how they really want to help Canada maintain those 3 world spots for the Olympics. They're well on their way, but they gotta clean up some elements, like their twist that always gets a level 1. They were so close at hitting a PB in all 3 segments in that short program, but elements like that are what's gonna keep them a little bit uncompetitive. So they're gonna go home. They have time before nationals to really work out and iron out this program even more. But well done to them.
Grand Prix Final, we know that 4 teams have made it through so far. Of course, the Canadians, stellato-dudek and Deschamps. Then we have Rico Miura, Ryu Chikahara, who trained just down the road from where we are right now in Oakville, Ontario. Anastasia Menokina and Luca Berilava. And then Ellie Cam and Danny O'Shea, the Americans, are securing that 4th spot. But fingers crossed for Canadians. Leah Pereira, Trent Michaud, they have to come up really big at the Cup of China next week for them to get into the Grand Prix Final. And they also have to hope that some of the top teams kind of don't do so well.
Yes. I mean, if it's anything like the ice dance, then it could absolutely be like that, which I think we're going to talk about
Yes,
next.
we are. Okay, Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier, the reigning world silver medalists. They were great in the rhythm dance, but struggled in the free. The 3-time world medalists who won Skate Canada finished in 2nd place, and they lost to Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. And this is where things are getting pretty interesting because this team from Great Britain, they've been giant killers this year. They beat Chalk and Bates at Skate America, the reigning world champions, and now they beat Piper and Paul, the reigning world silver medalists. So, wow. They finished 4th twice at the World Championships. So they are looking like they might get on the podium this time. Anyway, and in 3rd place, Julia Turkila and Matthias Verslius, and they're from Finland. They're the 2023 European bronze medalists. This is the 3rd Grand Prix medal of their careers.
And all 3 of them have been bronze, and all 3 of them have been in Finland.
So tell me, what went wrong for Piper and Paul?
Well, it started off with their rhythm dance very, very strong. I think they only had a 2-point lead, so not as comfortable as they would like of a lead ahead of Great Britain, but these outfits, we got to talk about them. More outfit changes than Aretha Franklin at her funeral.
Every rhythm dance, and you're telling me different outfits.
Different outfits on practice. I mean, I think they're going for the whole Barbie and Ken, you can dress me anywhere kind of thing, the whole Barbie world. But let's go into this free dance. This is what really hurt them. And kind of right from the beginning, they set this tone, beautiful, this whiter shade of pale agnostic program. It's about everything, it's about nothing. They open up with that beautiful combination lift, but soon after, I really felt that Paul looked somewhat shaky, which is so rare for him. So right there in that opening bracket, it looks a little sticky. In fact, he only gets a level 2, I believe, on that 1 foot. And here is where disaster hit. First twizzle, Paul adds an extra rotation. So they'll get a minus GOE for that, but they get right back into it. Second twizzle, much more successful, but then as he hits the 3 turn, his shoulders over rotate past his foot. He goes down and almost takes down Piper. She did well not to fall, so only a -1 in GOE there. And honestly, I have to say the judges were a little gracious to them on that element. I think because they did the 3-turn after, they didn't get the full -5 GOE on that element, so they were lucky there. But
When's the last time that they finished fourth in the free skate?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you. But it's
Have
hard.
Have you ever had that happen where you go out on the ice and you just go, it's not going to happen today?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you feel like you're in someone else's skates. Sometimes you just, all of a sudden, you just catch an edge on a twizzle when you've been so secure. And you know what? Although it really sucks, especially on an international stage, what it does is makes you think harder about things you do that you just kind of take for granted. We take crosscuts for granted as we focus on our triple luts or our twizzles coming up, and that could be something that could bite you. And that's something that kind of happened to them. And I think Piper even talked about this, that and they're happy this mistake happened now so that they can really refocus because they've skated so consistently for so long, rarely mistakes. So this just keeps them on their toes and making sure to stay alert and not take things for granted.
What a Grand Prix season, though, it has been for Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. I mean, beating Chalk and Bates, who also made a mistake at Skate America, and now they're opportunists. We see Piper and Paul make a mistake, and they stepped up. And we weren't sure what to expect from them because we were told it was hour by hour with Lila. What happened?
Yes, so on Friday before the rhythm dance, Lewis had clipped Lila with the heel of his boot as they were practicing their twizzles. She fell awkwardly, and actually in these pictures you can see she had to be carried off the ice. But in the rhythm dance, she still skated. She appeared with a bandage on her knee. So shout out to Lila for pushing through for this event and Lewis for being such a supportive partner.
What did you think of the free? What did you think of their free? They obviously won the free.
Okay, well, first I'm gonna say I really love the rhythm dance because they really give out that the freaks say chic, they're right into it. These opening moves are so sharp. But then we head to the free dance where they kind of don't give me that same vibe.
So Beyonce?
It's Beyonce.
Yeah.
It's Beychella. We all went to most of us went to the Renaissance tour and we got our lives. And this isn't giving me that. They're often in really open holds. Here's that twizzle set that Lewis
Really
hits.
far apart.
Yeah,
hey?
really far apart. Yeah. Probably being a little cautious after the incident in warm-up. And they just kind of don't really hold my attention in this program, which is hard for me to say because I really like their energy. Even this lift that is kind of beautiful and striking looks a little awkward as it goes up. And they kind of only turn on the Yas Queen, Beyonce near the end. Maybe it'll grow on me like their Rocky program last year, but I'm not feeling it. And you know what? Even though they won here at Skate America and here they only hit 121 and 122 respectively. So these aren't even high scores for them. They're used to getting 126. I got them fourth at Worlds last year, and 130 got them their first ever Grand Prix gold medal at NHK also last year. So,
but if someone would have told you at the beginning of the season that Lila and Lewis would be at the top of the standings and they would have beat Chalk and Bates and Piper and Paul, you wouldn't have believed it.
I would have been like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Not me. But you know what? It's nice to see a shakeup in ice dance because we're so used to like waiting your turn, next in line, here's what's gonna happen, unless something devastating happens, which it did. And I think the kiddies are smelling blood in the water in those top 3 teams after they've all faltered on the Grand Prix circuit. So they're like, it's our turn. And you know what? Lila and Lewis are undefeated this season.
I know, but anyway, if you're a Canadian ice dance fan, you don't want to hear that. That's really nice. Thanks for that. But the 3 teams, as we just mentioned, we know are going to the Grand Prix Final. It is Fear and Gibson, Chalk and Bates, Piper Gillis, Paul Poirier. Oh, I forgot about the French team, La Pareva and Berceau. They're going. But, speaking of one of the young teams, Les Joie, Laga from Canada, You've got to think that they're going to be shoo-ins to get to that Grand Prix final. They were second at Skate Canada, and they got a pretty good chance of winning Cup of China, I would think, and they are darn good.
I was just going to say the same thing. Like I predict, like I said, all of them have fallen. They've had such a stranglehold on the top 3, 4 for so long, and I think they smell blood in the water. And all these 3 teams with the remaining Grand Prix all have second place finishes, so they're all tied at 13 points. So it should be very interesting to see the standings.
Go Canada. Okay, the best of the best in women's figure skating, of course, the Japanese, and they do it once again. The third different Japanese woman to win this season is Hana Yoshida. Wow, what can we say? She was third at Skate Canada, wins this event. Rino Matsuki, we remember her from Skate Canada. She set a season's best in the short and the total score. She was, remember, second at Skate Canada after finishing 10th in the short. She moves up to win the silver medal. She kind of did a bit of that here.
She did it here too again.
Fourth after the short, wins the free. And then Laura Naki Gutman. Wow, she really impressed a lot of people. The Italian set new personal bests in the short, the free, and the total score, and the first Italian woman to win a Grand Prix medal since Carolina Costner did it in 2017.
Yes, and you know what? She was a last-minute entry as well. She didn't know she was going to this event until a week before her first.
I didn't
Grand
even
Prix.
know that.
Which was NHK.
Right.
So she also had to travel from Tokyo to Helsinki. So real big shout out to her. She looked incredibly happy.
Right.
Really good results. I want to quickly talk about Rino Matsuke. Like she is such a beautiful and effervescent skater. She has this moment in her free program step sequence where she holds this deep outside edge into this back inside loop. It's gorgeous. You should watch it. Okay, we can talk about the winner now, Hana Yoshida, because of course the day is hers. She started brilliant with that short program. In the free program, she opens up with that triple axel that often eludes her. She's one of only 2 women who will be trying it on the circuit, but that doesn't shake her confidence. She comes back with 6 more triples, maxes out on all her leveled elements. I really like this kind of galaxy dress. Her music kind of gives me weird aquapunk. I like when people use different music, but I don't know if this completely works for her, and I'm usually a fan of Benoit Richaud's programs, but the jumps are there, the skating quality is there.
You love the costume, though.
I do love the costume.
And you know what? She only won this by 26/100ths of a point over Rino Matsuki, so it was razor thin to say the least.
Yeah. And then she had a super cute reaction in the kiss and cry after she saw that she won her second Grand Prix gold of her career.
And she is one of the women who will be heading to the Grand Prix final in Grenoble, France. The first week in December, Kaori Sakamoto, Wakaba Higuchi, and then you got Hana. My prediction has always been it's going to be a Japanese sweep. But U.S. champion Amber Glenn could break up that sweep. We'll see what happens at the Cup of China, which will also be skated by Maddie Skisas of Canada. So see what happens.
Now let's head on to the men's event where, to quote Mark Henretti, who's the commentator for the ISU stream, the men were menning.
They were menning?
They were menning.
Okay.
Which means the men always kind of skate with varied results, is how I would say.
Okay, well, they were very many. Even the winner, Yumet Kajiyama, he won the short program and then he finished 5th in the free. The 3-time world silver medalist, though, said he felt ashamed of the free, said he really kind of apologized afterwards to the fans. Just thought it was a terrible performance, but he won. Kevin Amos, well, he finished second at Skate America, and he did what he always does. He managed to finish third in the short, second in the free to take that silver medal. And Daniel Grassel, he was sixth after the short, and he actually won the free. So he's looking pretty good. He was second at NHK Trophy last week. So yeah.
He's got a pretty clear path.
2 medals.
Yeah, he's got a pretty clear path to the Grand Prix final. Very likely that he will be making it. There's some controversy with some of the landing of his jumps. He can tend to under-rotate, but 2 medals, 2 weeks, a year off, not too shabby.
And Yuma, he had an 18-point lead after the short program. He needed it. With the way he skated in the free, as we said, he was pretty disappointed.
It saved his bacon. That was the opening quad flip or attempted quad flip. Doesn't even get up. His usually handy dandy quad sow has a step out, but he does pick up some really big points with 2 beautiful quad toes, one with a triple toe. And then another 2 mistakes on his triple axels. The second one, he's not able to get a combo, so that's a mandatory reduction. He only gets 70% of its value. But all his flaws in this program are truly forgiven as soon as he just skates. I really like the connection between his short program and free program in terms of music. They both have this Spanish flamenco influence, very romantic, deeply passionate. Again, this step sequence in this free program is one of my favorites this year. And although he got all these mistakes and the mandatory reductions in the program component score, he was still very much second place in that segment in the free program, just showing how much the judges appreciate his skating quality.
Okay, so then you have Kevin Amos, and I don't know if some of our viewers will remember what happened. Last year at the European Championships, he fell apart. He was 31st, this accomplished skater, and he didn't go to the World Championships. Some were writing him off, a lot of haters out there on social media, but he comes back this season and he looked great in his first Grand Prix event and here with that silver medal.
Yeah, I'm going to say at the start of this Grand Prix series or this season, I did not have high hopes for Kevin. That performance at French Masters, you had to watch through your fingers. But opening quad toe does not go well for him, and usually this could be a sign of an implosion, but he comes back, lands the second one with a turnout, is able to add a double to it, and this doesn't faze him at all. He's able to continue growing in strength. I'm just so proud. He lands 6 more triples, including that quad toe, and he's just such a dynamic skater. The man choreographs his own programs. Just unique movements, just like that front flip. Only he can do it, and just so versatile. The short program is like a disco funk, and then here he comes, making us cry. His coach, Silvia Fontana, is always right with him. And what I love about Kevin is that he's exciting. You never know what he's going to do, which gives you a little bit of a heart attack, but he performs on and off the ice. And I'm talking about kiss and cry reactions, of course.
Yeah, let's take a look at his reaction when he saw his scores after that performance. Can you roll it for us?
The free skating, 174.02 points. His total competition score is 259.15 points, which brings him currently in the first place. Thank you.
I was watching that in my basement at home. When that came up, it scared the crap out of me, right?
It's like the old Maxwell commercials where you like get yelled at and you're blowing through the giant speakers.
But good for him, because there are a lot of people this season, after what happened at Europeans last year, kind of rooting for him to do well.
And you got to remember that figure skaters are humans. We suffer from mental health problems. The sport is very, very tough on us. So he took that break, and I'm so happy he did. And now he's going to the Grand Prix final.
And you know what was interesting? So the Grand Prix finals being held, as I said, in Grenoble, France, at the very arena where he first learned to skate. How cool is that? But he has teased us by saying, I have something special planned for my performances there. And then he said, it's kind of silly. Any guesses what that might be? Anyway.
Backflip?
Oh, we've been there, done that, right?
True. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's he going to wear?
Oh, we'll find out. We'll find out in a couple weeks.
I'm
But
excited.
so we know three
full
of
of
the men
surprises.
who are going to be going. Of course, Ilya Malinin of the United States. Yuma is going. Kevin is going. But still 3 spots to fill. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, Xiao Hen Fang could easily get in there. Shen Sato. So we shall see. It's still shaping up. We're not quite done yet. But of course, we have to talk about the Canadians heading to the Cup of China. And of course, who's going to take that last push for those Grand Prix final spots?
Well, Wesley Chu, he will not be going to the Grand Prix final, but certainly looking to prove on that 9th place finish at Skate America. Maddie Skeeses, she's looking to build off 2 solid skates at Skate Canada a couple of weeks ago. Leah Pereira, Trent Michaud, 5th at Grand Prix of France. They have something to prove. And Marjorie Lejoie, Zachary Laga, they certainly have a great shot of going to the Grand Prix final again.
Yes. Wesley Chu was 9th at Skate America, definitely looking to do better here. He wants to stay the top contender for that Worlds. Madeline Skeeses, this is actually a very, very tough event. There's a world medalist in Cheon Kim, European medalist in Georgia, actually champion in the Georgian women,
Right.
and 4 of the women already have Grand Prix medals, including Amber Glenn, Mona Chiba, Rinka Watanabe, Rion Sumiyoshi. So it's going to be a tough event, but all she has to do is skate well.
I think she wants to prove to herself that she can have 2 great competitions in a row. So that's kind of, I would imagine, the end game for her.
Yeah.
And watch out for Marjorie and Zach because they want that spot to the Grand Prix final. They want to, Lila and Lewis, they want to give them a little bit push as the new kids on the block trying to threaten Piper and Paul and Chalk and Bates.
Like I said, I think they smell blood in the water, the kids who have been like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. So I'm agreeing with you. I think Lagoa and Lejoie will beat the Italians, Guinard and Fabry.
That'd be a tasty little...
It would be, yeah. I'm kind of not hoping for it, but their program this year, especially the free dance, doesn't work for them, the Italians. But again, we haven't seen it clean yet, but I think it could be theirs. And Leah and Trent, this is an event they can actually probably medal at because the other teams that are a little bit below them, they're having a rematch from France with the Germans and the Italians, and they're kind of a shoe-in for 3rd if they can deliver 2 clean programs.
When does it start?
You can stream Cup of China starting November 22nd, of course, on CBC Gem. What an event. We are coming to the end of this Grand Prix series. I cannot believe it. Who do you think will make the Grand Prix final? Who is your favorite? What are your medal contenders for Cup of China? Let us know. But that's all from us. Thank you, guys.
See you next week.